So you've done it. You've actually done the hard part. You said you bited the candy, the cakes, the sodas, all the obvious stuff. You thought you'd finally crack the code to getting your health on track. But then you look at your numbers and they're still, well, high. It is so frustrating, right? In this explainer, we're going to dig into the real reasons why this happens, and I'll show you why the problem often has nothing to do with what's in your sugar bowl. I mean, if this question hits home for you, you are absolutely not alone. It feels like you followed the number one piece of advice, but the results just aren't there. But listen, this isn't because you failed. It's because you might have been aiming at the wrong target. The real story, the one that matters, starts a lot deeper inside your body. So why doesn't just cutting out sugar work for so many people? Why does it fail to move the needle? Well, it's because the issue isn't just about what you're putting into your body. It's about what your body is, or maybe what it isn't, doing with the fuel it gets. Okay, this is where we need to make a really big mental shift. For a long time, we've thought of sugar as the bad guy, but the real villain of this story isn't the sugar itself. It's the breakdown in communication that happens inside your own cells. And the starting point for all of this is a condition that develops so quietly, sometimes over decades, insulin resistance. To really get what's happening, let's use an analogy. Picture one of your body's cells as a door with a lock on it. Now, glucose, that's your body's main fuel, wants to get inside. Insulin is the key that unlocks that door. Simple, right? But with insulin resistance, it's like that lock gets all rusty and gummed up. It gets harder and harder to turn. So what does your body do? It panics and just starts making more and more keys, flooding your system with insulin to try and force that sticky door open. Now, all those extra keys floating around, that constant flood of insulin, it's not harmless. Not at all. Insulin is a powerful hormone, and when it's always high, it's constantly telling your body to store fat, especially right around your belly. It's what makes you feel starving an hour after you ate. It's why you get that sleepy crash after lunch. It can even drive up your blood pressure. Does any of this sound familiar? These aren't random symptoms. They're the direct result of that rusty lock. Okay, so if all this glucose can't get into the cells easily, where is it supposed to go? To understand that, we need to look at your body's two main glucose engines, your muscles and your liver. So you've got two major players here. On one hand, you have your muscles. Think of them as a giant sponge. They are the number one consumer of glucose in your body. They're just designed to soak it up from your blood and use it for energy. Then you have the liver. The liver is more like a factory. It can store glucose for sure, but, and this is so important, it can also make its own sugar and pump it out into your bloodstream, especially when it thinks you're under stress. Now, here's where things get a little trickier as we get older. We all naturally lose some muscle mass over time. I mean, look at this. By age 55, you could have 25% less muscle than you did at 35. So think about it in terms of our sponge analogy. You have significantly fewer sponges to soak up all that glucose. The sugar has fewer places to go, so it just hangs around in your blood, keeping those numbers high. So what do? We have to wake up those muscles. And here is a super simple, totally doable action for this week. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day of some basic resistance work. We're talking bodyweight squats, push-ups against the wall, anything that makes your muscles work. This sends a powerful signal to them to start taking in glucose again, which is exactly what we want. But you know, waking up your muscles is only one piece of the puzzle. Because there is a very common trap that so many people fall into, and it's sabotaging all their hard work with foods that they think are perfectly healthy. Here's the thing, your body doesn't really care if a food is labeled healthy or natural. It only cares about one thing. How fast does that food turn into glucose in your blood? And all these foods right here, oatmeal, rice, potatoes, even fruit juice, they all convert to glucose incredibly quickly, which triggers that huge insulin rush we've been talking about. This quote, this is a real eye-opener. Let it sink in for a second. It's not saying cake is a health food, not at all, but it perfectly highlights the idea that it's all about the speed of delivery. That bowl of healthy oatmeal can dump sugar into your bloodstream even faster than a slice of cake because it's so easily digestible. And it's not just what you eat, it is absolutely about when you eat. Every single time you have a snack, even a healthy one like an apple or some nuts, you trigger another little release of insulin. And if you're grazing all day long, your insulin levels never get a chance to come down. This means your body never gets a signal to switch from storing fat to actually burning it for fuel. So here's our next micro action. For the next week, just try structuring your day around 2 or 3 solid meals. No random snacking. Give your body and your insulin a real break. And here's a little pro tip. Make sure you add a good source of protein to every single one of those meals. Protein acts like a brake pedal, slowing down how fast the sugar from any carbs hit your bloodstream. All right, now let's say you've got your diet and exercise totally dialed in. There is still another layer, an invisible force that can completely undermine all of your efforts, and that's the powerful link between your hormones, your sleep, and your stress. This right here explains the mystery of waking up with high blood sugar when you haven't eaten a thing for hours. When you're stressed out or you sleep poorly, your body pumps out the stress hormone, cortisol. Cortisol basically screams emergency to your liver, and your liver, our little factory, responds by dumping a load of stored sugar into your blood to give you energy to handle the threat, even if that threat is just you worrying in bed. Oh, and it gets worse. A bad night's sleep throws your hunger hormones completely out of balance. It tanks the hormone that says, hey, you're full, and it jacks up the one that screams, I am starving, thing. This is precisely why, after a rough night, your willpower just vanishes and all you want are carbs, bread, pasta, sweets. It's not a character flaw, it's your biology screaming for quick energy. So the solution here isn't to fight it, it's to create rhythm. For just 1 week, try this. Set a consistent bedtime. Yes, even on the weekend, and try to finish your last meal at least 3 hours before you hit the pillow. This simple little routine gives your digestive system and all those important hormones the downtime they are desperate for, so they could reset properly for the next day. Okay, so we've talked about our muscles, about food timing, and about sleep and stress. Let's pull all these threads together because the real solution here isn't about fighting a war. It's about restoring your body's natural, beautiful, flexible rhythm. The ultimate goal, the thing we're really aiming for, is to get back something called metabolic flexibility. Think of this as your body's innate superpower. It's the ability to effortlessly switch between fuel sources to burn carbs for energy when you eat them, and then to seamlessly switch over to burning your own body fat for fuel when you're not eating. The loss of this flexibility, that's the real problem we're trying to solve. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Stop fighting your body. Your body interprets constant dieting, crazy workouts, and chaotic sleep as signs of danger and stress. The real path back to health is through creating predictable, gentle rhythms, consistent movement, structured meals, and deep rest. These are signals of safety, and when your body feels safe, it can finally relax and begin to heal. And you know what? Forget about the numbers on your glucose meter for a little while. Instead, start looking for these signs. Are you waking up feeling more refreshed? Is your energy steady all day long instead of being a roller coaster? Are those crazy cravings starting to fade away? These feelings are the very first signs that your metabolic flexibility is coming back, often long before you see it in your lab results. Look, a condition like this doesn't just show up overnight. It develops over many, many years. And the good news is it can also recede over years, not through some magic trick or quick fix, but through small, consistent, gentle actions that day by day restore your body's natural harmony. So, I'll leave you with this final question to think about. Are you fighting your body or are you learning to restore its rhythm? The whole game changes when you shift your mindset from battling against symptoms to gently and consistently helping your body get back to its innate natural flow, because that is where true lasting health is really found. Dear friends, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss new useful videos. If you have any questions, write them in the comments. I'll be sure to answer. Stay healthy.